What's up, folks? It's DanielTheVapeMan. So today we're not going to be reviewing something like this or something like that, and we're not going to be reviewing some awesome like this, like a nice juice like this, Thrst Ejuice design. Today we're going to be doing something that I'm new to thanks to my job, and basically the inability to take vape breaks. We're going to be reviewing soda. No, just kidding. We are going to be reviewing the Smok Nord. So we're not going to be really reviewing it. I'm just going to tell you my first day with it. And there's not much to review because it's a fucking pod system. It's not a lot to. So the Smok Nord is basically a volume 2 or version 2 of the Nova. Basically that's what I get from it. It is 1100 mAh, has a 3 milliliter capacity, and comes with a very hard to get off tip. It comes with its own coil, which is pretty dope. So the tank in here is a 3 milliliter. I'm only going to use the mesh coil in there because mesh is the way to go. So it has this nice little click button, which is honestly, I don't like it. Because when you're at work, it's much easier just to go versus I have to turn it on and then hit it. So basically I use this all day. I actually used it more than my mod today because I wanted to review it, and the flavor I'm getting off of it is insane. So I've been using the Mimic Pod, which I absolutely love the airflow control on it, but I've only been using the menthol juices in it, and I haven't really refilled it with another juice. So I thought pods, and most of the pods that I've tried, the flavor has been muted, but with this mesh coil, this 0.6 mesh coil, it's insane. It also comes with a 1.2 ohm pod, fucking mouth to lung pod coil. This one you can actually use regular juice on. By the way, this is the only color that I could get, but luckily I checked today and I ordered the color I wanted, so I'm going to have 2 of these. That's how much I like it. So before we get into the pros and cons. So first off, there's 2 cons that I have noticed. And they're kind of pretty big. Not to the point where it will like prevent you or make you not want to buy this. Number 1 is the button. So you have to press it in order to get vapor. That could be a pro or a con. It's a con because you can't just hit it and go, which makes it not as convenient at work. I have to press it 5 times and then hit it. And then it could be a pro in essence that you're gonna have the ability to turn this off and on, which prohibits it from, going off randomly, which sometimes it does. And also with a lot of pod systems where you just inhale, a lot of times when you are, if you're just juuling it kind of like that, it will hit, and you're not trying to hit it, you're just breathing. The second con, which is my biggest con, is the feel of it. So it feels great in the hand, yes. It is small, compact, very ergonomical. The problem is it's very slimy, if that makes sense. So it's made of good material. It seems to be like a mixture of plastic and steel of some kinds, or alloy, or I don't know. But it gets very clammy, if that makes sense. Like it gets sticky, and it's not sticky like there's juice. It's sticky because I guess condensation can get on it, and it feels like, if you can hear that, you know what I mean? It's definitely a fingerprint magnet kind of deal, but it's worse than that because it just feels slippery. Those are the 2 cons I have. The button doesn't bother me as much as I would have preferred it kind of like matte, maybe. A little bit more like this, where it's not fingerprint heavy, except on the screen, of course. But it feels good in the hands. It doesn't feel sticky. With this, it kind of gets that weird kind of like sweaty vibe. I don't know how to explain it. Now, the pros. The 1100 mAh is amazing. You're able to use it all day. If you click this button twice, it tells you the battery life. I've been using this all day, and it's just now hitting at yellow. When I left work, it was at green. Cloud production is really good for a pod system. It's very similar to the Mimic. You get a ton of clouds from it. The airflow on it is not restrictive, at least for this coil. You can do direct lung, which is how I vape, or you can do mouth to lung. For the mouth to lung, I get less vapor and also a stronger throat hit, a very good throat hit. Direct lung, it's very smooth. Now, if you hit it for, over a certain amount of time, you will get a stronger throat hit. Right there is when I started to get the throat hit. The biggest pro of this, besides the 1100 mAh, besides the 3 mil, the 3 mil capacity, I always say millimeters or milliliters, the 3 mil capacity, the ability that you don't have to change the pod, you just have to change the coils, which are relatively priced. You can find them for around $10 to $15 for a pack of 5, which is really good. And since they're mesh, they can last, 2 weeks. They last a good amount of time. But the biggest pro, besides all that, is the fucking flavor is phenomenal. The flavor I get on this is just about the same as this. I would say, now I have Red's Apple Iced in here at 30 Nick. So I will review Salt Nick in the future. Definitely a couple of my partnerships are going to send me some juice to review. I don't know if it's the juice. I have Twist Honeydew Chew, Salt Nick, of course, my favorite juice, regular. So I'm going to try that after this. But it is insanely flavorful. And I've tried Reds in the RDA, and it's I can't tell the difference. I would say this is like a mesh sub-ohm, which essentially it is, because you can use regular juice in the mesh coil, which is pretty cool. I don't know why you would do that, but you can. That's another pro that I forgot to mention. But the Salt Nick flavor that you get off here is the best that I've tried in any pod system so far. It is absolutely phenomenal. I would say it's like a mesh sub-ohm, a little bit better than a mesh sub-ohm actually. You get a ton of flavor, the cooling effect is there, you get a ton of clouds. So that's pretty much the only two cons using this all day, is it feels slippery and gamey and clammy in the button, which can be bad, but that's a pro and a con because you can see the battery life, you can turn it off, you don't have to worry about, shit happening, which is good, I guess. Another con that I just forgot to mention, but it's not that big of a deal because you can use other USBs, I'm assuming, is the micro USB is about this big. Not kidding, it's about the same size, a little bit smaller maybe, than the actual pod system, which is kind of annoying. Luckily, my old phone was micro USB, so that's how I charge it. I think that's safe. I'm going to do more research on it before I continue to do that, because I don't know if the amps and all that and the voltage, yada yada, I don't want it to explode. But to put in perspective, very rarely will I get an item and I immediately buy the same item again just to have multiple of it. The only other times I've done that is with the Rage Squonk, which is my favorite squonk ever. The ergonomics on it and just the look of it is my favorite. And Goons. I literally have to prohibit myself from buying a fucking Goon every week. I go to 528 Customs and I look at Goon 1.5s and Goon 25s, and I sit there and I put it in the checkout. I put it in my cart, and then I say, I don't need it. I have 10 fucking Goons. I don't need another one. And I have to force myself and say, I don't need the Goon. I just want it. So those are the two items that I've bought multiples back to back. This is the third. So the reason why I got a second one is, A, I love it. B, I can try more varieties of juice. And C, and most importantly, this was the least my least favorite color. Although getting it, I do really like it. It looks pretty cool. But I'm not too big on rainbows. They're hard to match, even though this doesn't need to match. So I got the green, which is the one that I really wanted. But this is a really good rainbow. They did a really good job. So to sum this up, I would give this pod system like, I don't rate, hardware, but if I were to rate this, I'd give it like a 9.5. I will not recommend any Smok products to you. None. No mods, no tanks, definitely not the COILS. In fact, me and Smok have had a turbulent relationship. Not on their end, because they don't know me, nor do they care, because they make a ton of money. But on my end, I've been very judgmental of their tanks and COILS. Their mods, when you're making $1 billion of one item, you're going to have some problems. And I did dig my Pro Color. I had no problem with it. But their tanks and the COILS, I absolutely hate. But when it comes down to it, Smok has helped millions of people get off cigarettes. And that's pretty cool. And when I was looking at this pod system and I asked for people's opinions, they said without a doubt this is the best flavorful pod system. And out of the handful of pod systems I tried, which all of them were non-Smok, except I tried this once, I would say they're right. This is probably the best pod system out there, in my opinion. Maybe the Lost Vape Orion, maybe the Vaporesso Zero, and maybe the Soren Air might be better, and Breeze too. But I absolutely love this mod, and I'm very grateful that Smok introduced me to vaping. So I started off with the V2, little cig-alike thing, and then from there I got a Smok M17, and then from there I liked the Smok M17. It did me well. I still have it. From there I got the Pro Color. That's when I started experiencing the problems, and that's when I started experiencing the hate. But then I thought about it with this product, and I was like, well, if it wasn't for Smok, I might have gone back to cigarettes. And if you think about it, a lot of beginners start off with Smok, and from there they either stick with their Smok and have their alien until it's fucking beat up and looks like shit, or they move on from there. And for that, I think, I commend Smok. They have helped millions of people get off cigarettes, and that's the goal with vaping. And yeah, they release a shit ton of products, and yes, some of them are shit. I mean, some of them are like these. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, will I buy another Smok mod? No. If they made a mechanical mod, I still wouldn't buy it. Will I buy a Smok tank? No. I have used Smok's mesh coils, and they're pretty good. And I like them. Very flavorful, similar to this. But I won't buy them. Does that mean I won't buy another Nord or another pod system? No. That's probably the only thing I'll buy from Smok is a pod system. They have done it well. I mean, listen to the reaction time, too. 1, 2. 1, 2. This thing hits pretty fast. And just the flavor off of it. The look, not maybe this color, but the look is really great. I just gotta thank Smok. This gets my nick fix when I can't, vape. Perfect amount of airflow. And, it changed my opinion on Smok. Yes, I'm not gonna buy their stuff, but I've remembered I wouldn't have all the stuff that I have and all the stuff that I show y'all and all the stuff that I review and all my sponsors and all my partnerships if it wasn't for me buying that Smok M17 and then getting that Smok Pro Color. And then if it wasn't for their shitty coils, I wouldn't be in the RDAs now. So, in my opinion, thank you, Smok, and much respect to you. But anyways, that has been a little Tangentville Smoke Nord pros and cons semi-review, basically day of, and I really like it. I'm actually going to go sit down, have a couple rips of the mod, but probably going to use this because I really want to try Twist Saltnik. And stay tuned, folks, because we're... okay, I thought there was shit in there. It's actually the plugs. But stay tuned, folks. We are going to review Saltnik coming up. Okay, so we're going to review the Salt Nick, and I'm going to start buying a more variety of Salt Nicks, so stay tuned for Salt Nick reviews as well. Although I am not going to buy above 35 Nick, that is my limit. I don't see a point of anything above 40. I try to get off of cigarettes and lower my nicotine. This is more just get my fix and continue to work. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. Hope you all have a great day. And buy yourselves these. I got this at the Electric Tobaccoist. If you check out my Instagram, I have posted a picture talking about them, and you can go to their website from there. It's a really good website with the good deals. I got this, a pack of five COILS, and a Salt Nick Red's Apple Ale for $47. Really good deal. And my shop sells this alone for $50. So anyways, have a good one.